Foxtrot! It doesn't make sense to me, dude.
Sean here, and I hope Sally understands that she's creating her own downfall. She's creating the Akron screw job, you know, the evil Mr. McMahon coming up. We didn't screw Cyraxx. Cyraxx screwed Cyraxx. And I sincerely wish we'd have a moment when Cyraxx is finally escorted out of that house, when a man standing nearby would rip his hoodie off. It'd be Music Biz Marty, and he'd say, "It was me, Goblin. It was me all along, Goblin. You all bought it." Oh my God. That would be so amazing. I'm still waiting for the Marty lookalike to stand out in the dark under the street light with his hoodie down and a beard. Wait for the Goblin to look out. Maybe somebody in Facebook chat to tell him, "Look out your window." He looks out, sees Marty, face turns white. That person just kind of ducks their head, turns and walks away. Oh, please do it. But let's just talk about... The Goblin was at Cracker Barrel the other night. He's the kind of adult that probably spends his time in the toy aisle, then coming back and asking Sally if he can get that blue-colored slinky that goes an extra inch when you use it, or the world's smallest Etch-a-Sketch, but most likely a wind-up car or a remote control car. I'm actually shocked he hasn't told us he's the world's greatest drift car RC driver. Chance doesn't like to be out in public. He likes free food, though. Probably the best food he's ever eaten. But after he quickly ate his food, Mom, can we go now? Mom, can we go? Mom, that waitress is looking at me. I think she's a troll. They leave. Tensions are high because he embarrassed them in front of his uncle. Got home. You saw what happened. We all saw what happened. I think Sally is more concerned that the world saw what happened than the actual incident itself. I think that's why she came up. "Chance, turn it off." She was still awake while he started his whole "I'm going to say some vile thing" live stream where he's threatening everybody. His eyes bugged out in his head. He was terrified. He looked like, "Is she talking to me? Is that APS? Are they here?" Now he's back to his competent self. This is what he's gotten away with since he was born. Do some bad shit. Nothing really happens. He takes a quick punishment. And then he's back to what he's always been doing because he feels safe. And then something will happen. He gets away with it. And then he'll feel safe. I predict in the next 7 to 12 months that our little Goblin, there's going to be an incident out the house. There's going to be an official report. We're not going to see it live. We're not going to get a live stream of it happening from someone else. It's just going to happen. And William or N-word boy, whoever, is going to get the documentation. The thing that sucks about APS is there's no body cam footage. Not in Akron. None. And the State Health Board, I believe that's what it's called, because I've been doing my research. My patience is wearing thin with this Goblin doing what he's doing and being allowed to exist like a festering wound in that attic. His mind is... He still has a little bit of sanity left. He goes in his cycles, right? And he still has a little bit of sanity left. We can map his life out. We put a dot, draw a vertical line to the next dot, vertical line to the next dot. And at each milestone is when he has a rebirth, or he retires from something and starts something new, and it never goes up. The vertical timeline is never going up. It's just keep going to new lows. He can't even spiral right. He just goes straight down. It doesn't matter, Sally, how much you love this little Goblin. When you are watching his descent into madness, like we can all plainly see, we can clearly see it. You aren't up when he's doing this stuff, Sally. You don't even know where he's doing it at. He doesn't hide it because he's afraid of us. He hides it because he doesn't want you to know what he's doing. And he wants to be able to be online for 1 or 2 people, hopefully a minor, perform his little shows, and do whatever the hell he wants because you're an epic failure, Sally. He doesn't threaten me. He doesn't threaten anyone else directly. I think William, he did once. He, threatened him to beat him up or whatever. But not even in a way that you could do anything about it. He's gonna mess up, man. He's going to mess up. Like I said, 7 to 12 months, he's going to do something stupid. But I don't know what it is. I know Sally's probably going to regret it. Why didn't I do something sooner? But I'm going to keep it real. I think she may be like, why can't these trolls just leave us alone? Why can't they let poor Chansey Poo just do whatever he wants and just stop harassing him? As a parent, I would hate myself if that was how I felt about my children. And as I said before, my ex is a much better parent than I am. More attentive, more perceptive when it comes to issues. I can maybe help with my son's mental side of things, but when it comes to structure and everything like that, she's way better than I am. But we both have skills. Unfortunately for Chance, he does not have a male role model in his house. That ain't toxic masculinity or anything. It's the truth. A son should have a male role model in the house that he can look up to. He said something to me the other day that I had to hide it, but he almost had me in tears. I wish I was as brave and strong as you, Dad. Holy shit. It's like winning the lottery emotionally. You don't get those wins very often. You get the I love yous and thank yous and the hugs, but you don't get that very often. A child recognizes one of the traits they're supposed to be emulating. Of course, I had to explain to him that I'm terrified whenever there's some kind of conflict. You have it inside of you. You just have to, that's what bravery is. Being scared and overcoming it. Chance is just bravado. That's what I'm getting at. He didn't learn bravery. He just learned bravado. He learned puffing his little chest out, talking a bunch of smack, and when the challenge appeared, crying, screaming. Now, he was tough with low T because Mommy and Ed were there, and he was hoping Ed would step in. Plus, low T is not exactly threatening. I mean, they were about the same height, if I recall. I swear he was trying to kiss low T. Do it. Do it. And with Marty, I think this was Chance's delusions finally catching up with him. The first time he walked out that door to approach a stranger he had never met before that was much bigger than him, and he came back with his nose all bandaged up, I would sit down with Chance and be like, look, your gift, when you were born, you were not gifted with strength, you were not gifted with smarts, and you were not gifted with being a tough guy. I hopefully as a parent would see some redeeming qualities and focus on them. Maybe Chance can be giving. He just doesn't have anything to give, or know what to give, or when to give, or how to give, or who he should give to. And honestly, maybe Ed just doesn't have the patience, because I know for damn sure I would not have it. The low T incident should have really been a wake-up call. Getting clocked on your front porch, I'm still mad at low T for not just pouncing on him and finishing the job and making sure he got the message loud and clear and making sure there was clear video evidence so whenever Chance ran his mouth, you got beat up by low T, dude. You got beat up by a femboy. Gross. As he's climbing on him, yeah, mount me, do it. Gross. As a mom, one of the things your child should learn from you is love. Also from the dad, but I think I learned more about it from my mom. They always say a mother's love. A mother can love their child, obviously with Cyraxx, even though they're a deplorable piece of garbage. Or as Napoleon Dynamite would say, a decrepit piece of crap. I don't know if Cyraxx understands what love is. He only understands what lust is, meaning that Sally has not done a good job of showing him what love is, and kids know what love is because eventually they realized they were protected from a lot of dumb shit. Chance has never been protected from a lot of dumb shit. Sally's idea of protection is locking him in his room, locking him in the house, keeping the dog, treating the symptoms and not the problem, keeping the dog away that he was molesting, using peanut butter to attract, or something gross like that. I think at this point, if he had a jar of honey and there was a bear outside, I think we know what would happen. I used to think I went too far in these Cyraxx videos, but you can't go far enough. So he never learned love, only lust. He never understood what real love is. I don't I don't mean like the love a parent shows a child, making sure they're taken care of and all that. No. Real love, as in, I'm going to teach you a hard life lesson. But when you have a goblin who cries, pretends that I'm just so weak, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do it, Mom, I love you so much, and you just fall for that shit every time, you've taught them nothing. If he had kids, he would pass on the Wilkins curse, because that family is cursed. I'm divorced, I'm not with anybody, and there was a girl, Joe Cecilia, in the Marine Corps, who was dating me and another guy. I found out about it, broke up, and I was cursed, I think. Another Italian throwing a curse at an Italian. She said, "You are going to die alone." I mean, it was like a real curse. And sometimes if I'm wondering if I'm just like self-fulfilling, quite honestly, I have to remind myself it's because I don't want anybody else's emotions as my responsibility, and I enjoy freedom. But the joke is that it's a curse. I really liked her too. I don't know if you've ever been in a situation, and this is another thing, I am getting to a point, just please bear with me. A situation where you've been cheated on or cheated on someone else. You know the feelings of betrayal, the hurt, the grief, and you go through all stages, especially if you really liked or loved that person. Chance does it so frequently, it just makes me think he's never really truly been loved, only used, if you can believe that, like for a place to stay and things like that. Not understanding that it's his own behavior, which makes me wonder if that's how Sally behaves, or if he sees Ed and he sees Sally accepting Ed with his terrible behavior. There's no way, after being cheated on and having cheated on somebody when I was younger, that I would ever willingly inflict that upon someone. And I have dated some girls for a couple months, but once it started to get too serious and I felt like they were clingy, I was like, I'm out. I don't want to deal with this shit. But I stopped it. I would never just move on to another girl, have it on deck, because it is devastating. Now, bear with me. We weren't together for years. You guys have done this before. You weren't together for years. It just wasn't working out. And you just move on. In Chance's head, 2 days is the equivalent of a lifetime. We've seen it. So this man frequently would have someone love him or treat him like they loved him. Of course, he doesn't know what love is, doting their attention on him, and he just jumped to somebody else instantly while they were still together over the internet, having never even seen each other face to face, having never even physically touched. They were going to get married. But if he really thought that they were in love and he would willingly do that, he's more upset because they're trying to pin it on him rather than the fact that it didn't work out and he got caught. He's just concerned that they're trying to blame him for cheating on. It's ridiculous. So that just tells me he doesn't understand what love is and what betrayal is. Real betrayal. For him, betrayal, I don't know if this is what Sally taught him or whatever, betrayal is snitching. Holding somebody accountable for their actions. Some of you weren't with me during the Lorne days, but I told this story. I don't tell it very often, but it is relevant. I had just gotten divorced. We had made a promise, we're going to focus on the kids. We're not going to date anybody for a year. We're not going to move. Both of those were instantly shot out the window as she moved on quickly, and she moved. But I didn't rage out. I didn't get angry. It frustrated me, but I understood that she has needs. This is just, hear me out, that she has needs, and it's her life. We were no longer together. Our children were our main concern. The schools were better. So I moved here as well so that we would be close, and if the kids wanted to go back and forth, they could. It's just something simple. That's not the deal. The big deal was Christmas Eve. I'm at home. I get a phone call. And it's a woman that I had met through, she was asking, are you coming to cardio kickboxing? Can you teach the next week? I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. She's like, I'm so sorry. I said, oh, thanks. I was thinking maybe, like I saw you were down the other day or something. She's like, I can't believe all this is happening. And I'm like, what? What the are you talking about? proceeded to tell me everything. And all of the times I was guilted into doing something, or I was asked to do something, and if I couldn't do it or I didn't want to do it, I was given a bunch of shit. This was all so that she could go to a wine party, or she could go out on a date, like a military date or whatever it was, a ball. She had been dating someone, with someone, maybe even when we were in counseling, I don't know. But it stung for like an hour. I'm pretty good at bouncing back and reasoning things out, and also telling myself that when things are over, they're over the instant things are over. I hope that makes any sense. Chance can't even do that right. When he breaks up, he tries to get back with them, which is so bizarre. If you didn't care enough about them to stay with them, and you wanted to move on to somebody else, and then you want to get back with them, and I wonder if this, and I apologize for the long story. If you stuck with me this far, thank you. But I wonder if that isn't when Gordon moved away. Sally followed him down there and tried to put Chance back in Gordon's life. And if it didn't work, if Chance didn't feel some kind of responsibility, this is back then, bear with me, some kind of responsibility that maybe he screwed it up. And maybe Sally still wanted to get with him, even though she just said, oh, I just want you to help raise Chance, because she couldn't handle it. And then it didn't work, and maybe Sally was angry at him for a while. Gordon had moved on. Sally was trying to squeeze back in the picture, so maybe Mom's behavior is why he cheats, then wants to get back with the person he cheated on, and not only that, but wanted to make... Maybe Sally thought that Gordon was cheating on her. I don't know that whole story. But the whole parenting situation is fucked. He has no role models. Again, thank you for sticking with me. You can probably reason out 3 other things that could have happened with that weird situation where she stalked him. Please take the goblin. Maybe he has that desperate need to feel needed because please take the goblin in his own head. It would be so nice to have that to fall back on. You know, I was born once, but Mama, I'm not even supposed to be here. Or every time you fuck up, you can go back to your tragic backstory and just tell yourself that this is the reason I am the way I am today. Sally never taught him that your past doesn't define your future. It's a starting point. The things you do in the past have consequences in the future, but it's your choice to fucking move on. And every time you're given a chance to move on, Cyraxx, you don't move on. So your mother's a failure. Ed's a failure. You're a failure. There were no parents in that household when they needed to be, and there are no parents in there right now. They appear to be more roommates than anything else. And I can't help but wonder if now Sally sees herself as your grandmother and not your mom. Maybe she realizes, maybe I did make a mistake. Maybe I should have never taken this little goblin in. Look at what's happened. But I guess I'll just have to deal with it. Maybe she reasons out that she is successful. Look at all I've accomplished because of the goblin. And you can say, look at all I've accomplished because of my 1 pound, 6 inch long, 1 inch goblin. And maybe Ed can say, I've got this psycho goblin upstairs. I got Sally here, but at least we have a roof over our head. And I got food when I need it and some perks. I could probably make a 50-minute video on this, but I'm not going to because I know you guys don't want to listen to me any more than you already have to. Sally and Ed are failures. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Hey, it doesn't make sense to me, dude.